Hi everyone, it's Mr. Tony, and today we're going to unbox a brand new set of LIFEPAC homeschool curriculum. This curriculum is produced by Alpha and Omega, and I highly recommend it. We've used it for our kids for it's our second year now. This particular set is a 7th grade set, but from what I've seen, all the sets have the same subjects: science, Bible, language arts, math, history, and geography. And we're just going to take a quick look at what you get when you purchase one of these sets, and I'll just have a quick talk about that. All right, well, I've popped open the boxes here, and you can see that some of the books are thicker than others, but each one comes with this thick teacher's guide, and then all of these 10 of these workbooks. I really like this format because the kids can take them with them. Now, we've also used Monarch, which was okay, but the kids really seem to like and engage with these types of workbooks a little bit better. So let's just talk about what we got here. And first, we'll look at one of these workbooks. So in this case, we're looking at the history and geography one. Each one of these workbooks, you're going to have your table of contents here in the front. And then each one comes in these sections, which there's a couple different ways to go through this, but typically the student will read and work through each section, and then at the end of the section, there is, let's see if I can find it. There is a self-test for each one of these little sections. So we've got lots of work to do, and then there's these teacher checks along the way. So every time the student comes to one of these teacher checks, that's your opportunity to engage with your kid and make sure that he or she understands what's going on. That's your real teaching opportunities. Okay. So then you've got these self-tests. And there will be, for each one of the sections that was listed here, so in this book, there would be 3, sometimes there's 4 sections. Each one of the sections has a self-test, and those self-tests are designed to be taken where the student is not looking back in the book. Now, one of the things I have them do after I go through and grade them is I have them go back and make any corrections directly from the book. And then there is, in the middle of each book, see, you can actually see the different color pages right there. There is a test, which before you hand this to a student, you want to actually take this test out of the middle of the book. They're not supposed to see that until test time. So it's always the very center thing. There's these couple of staples here, and they pull out nice and easily. As long as you're careful with them, they'll pull out, and then I usually just throw those in a manila file folder, and then give those to the students when they finish the entire book. So if I look at this book, typically the way I grade, this one of the kids will have a test for overall participation, having done all of the individual work pages, and then a grade for each self-test, or self-test for each section, and then 1 grade for the test. And you can weight those differently if you want to. You can average them together. Again, you're the teacher. It's up to you to decide how you want to do that. So that is the student book. So it looks like this year in the 7th grade, we are going to be reading The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom, which is pretty exciting because Corrie ten Boom is awesome. So anyway, just so you can see that as they move on to the upper grades, like, it's not always just the workbooks, but then you do have these extra books sometimes that come along with it. All right, let's take a quick look at the teacher's guide. So this book is significantly thicker. There's no mistaking it. They're significantly thicker than one of the student books, and it's got quite a few things in here. So let's look at the table of contents real quick. There's going to be a curriculum overview. There's a section on how to manage and kind of work with your LIFEPACs and place for notes. There's alternate tests. So if your student has trouble and needs to retake a test, well, that gives you the option to obviously not have them take the same test twice, which is really nice. And then we've definitely used that. Then you've got your answer keys for the tests, the self-test, or for the workbook section, self-test, and then the test answer keys, and then the alternate test answer keys. So if you flip back to the curriculum overview section, which was the very first section in the teacher's guide, this is kind of neat. It's in every one of the books, but this is kind of neat because it's for the entire, like all 12 grades, okay? And it covers, I mean, if you look, so I can get to focus, but it covers, all the different modules, 1 through 10, because each section has 10, or each grade has 10 modules. So it gives you kind of a highlight of everything that's going to be covered. So it's cool to go, this year it's grade 7, okay, and we can go through and we can see, what is my daughter going to learn, this year. We can kind of talk over that, Oh, economics, that's going to be fun, I'm actually a big fan of economics, which makes me a bit of a geek, but I love it. And then you've got the section LIFEPAC management, which is very similar from book to book, but I recommend if this is your first time doing LIFEPAC that you read this section, okay? Because it's going to help you understand, how they, how Alpha Omega recommends that you, teach your LIFEPAC. Now, I will say we don't do it exactly this way, but it's worth starting out because you're the teacher, right? Start out with what they say. Hey, this is the right way to do it, but take that with a grain of salt, and then adapt it to what works, for your child. Okay, so this is how to kind of manage a LIFEPAC curriculum, which is really key. Okay, you've got your space for lesson plans and notes. Okay, and then a space to record grades. Okay. All sorts of notes and section stuff in here. All right. And then as you get further on, then we get into we got notes for each individual lesson. Okay. So they're not going to leave you completely high and dry. It's not just what's in the workbooks. You got your alternate test keys. Okay. These are pretty straightforward. You got all your answers in there. Okay. Flipping back. I'm sorry, those are the alternate tests. And then you get your answer keys. All right. So it's fairly easy. Just look up the test or whatever the activity is. So you can go through and grade your work. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for this unboxing of the 7th grade LIFEPAC. You'll have these 5 subjects in each grade, and the format is going to be pretty similar. So anyway, I hope you have a super successful year using your LIFEPAC, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you would like it at the bottom of the screen, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment, and maybe I'll answer it with another video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.